tonight is about to suck. I just got done working, peeled out a little bit early, got home, threw all my crap in the truck. I'm gonna drive all night to Ohio. I got Saturday and Sunday to scout it. Just pulled up to this rest stop up here. Doubt I'll be able to fall asleep because of all the caffeine, but I'm gonna do a little resting anyway. I've got the public land I hunted last year, the private piece I had last year. Rusty's granddad, Mr. Crabtree, talked to a family friend and got me another private piece. Then there's a public piece that I really am excited to go check out. I don't want to say too much about it, but looking at it on Onyx, it's a small piece, and just kind of the way it lays out and the location of it, I really feel like it's probably an overlooked piece that I can get in on, and it just looks good on the map. I'm hesitant to say too much about it, but because I don't want somebody to find it. But basically, two things I'm going to key in on. Of course, anytime I hunt Ohio or anywhere that's mountains is geofunnels. I mean, these bucks are going to be covering a lot of ground, like searching for does. So these ridges and saddles and stuff, where it's not as steep, really channel them. And two things I love about geofunnels is number one, you can find them on a map, so it makes scouting so much easier. I mean, I can look at 1,000 acres in Ohio and pull that thing up on Onyx and look at a topo map and immediately pick out most likely some of the better spots on the property. And then the other good thing about them is, even if it's early in the year and the bucks really haven't started making rubs yet, you can go check them, and the old rubs in that context are just about as good of a tell as new ones, because that topography doesn't change from year to year. So when you can find a good geofunnel and go check it in the summer, and if it's good, there's going to be a ton of old rubs there. So I love that aspect of it too. I mean, like last year in Kentucky where I was hunting I was scouting it before the bucks had really started cruising, but all those old rubs told me that when they got to moving, that was going to funnel them, and I ended up shooting that buck there and had a bigger buck coming in, walking in after that. And the other thing I've got going for me is up here they had a hard frost in turkey season, and that killed most of the acorns. So I can go in here, if I find any acorns, it's going to be a major hot spot. And then of course on my private spots I'll have bait out too, so that should be a little bit more effective with a lot of the acorns being killed in the springs. Well, I went in there planning on getting like 6 cameras, and they only have 1. So I guess I'm headed to Tractor Supply or Dick's or something, figure something out. Well, Tractor Supply only have 1, so I guess I'm gonna do what I can with what I got for right now. I'll probably maybe around lunchtime or something go to another town and clean them out too. I'm out here on this public land spot, and I'm walking to the first spot I picked out on Onyx, and already seeing some pretty good signs. Real beat down trails, a couple fresh rubs, ton of old ones. I ain't quite made it where I wanted to go yet. And just beat down trails through here. I mean, definitely a lot of deer in this area. But I'm gonna keep walking. There's 2 or 3 spots I wanted to check out and kind of go from there. There's a fresh rub right there. There's a fresh rub. I just jumped up a deer. Bedded out here on this point. There it is. So I just jumped a deer, bedded right where they were supposed to be. I watched him run off, but never could see a rack or anything. Didn't look huge bodied. I mean, definitely looked like a buck's body, but it didn't look mature. But right here in this little this little point overlooking this big dip. Looking at his body, I mean, I could see his body, and it never would like drop his head down enough I could see it through the limbs, but looking at his body, I don't think that's the deer I'm gonna focus a lot of effort on. I just kept walking a little bit, and this whole little saddle right here is just eat up with rubs. I would say definitely more than just that deer. I'm gonna keep walking a little bit, but I mean, I'm looking at 2 more right here. I just passed 2. There's definitely a significant amount of deer traffic coming through here. I would definitely hunt this spot for sure. So I dropped a pin on it, and I'm gonna head to the next one. That's the awesome thing about these steeper areas is, like I was saying before, you can just look at a topo map and pretty much know what's gonna be a good spot. And then I walk in here and check it, and it's like 99 times out of 100, it looks just as good as it's supposed to. And I have not found any sign of another human. So I'm gonna keep on walking and try to have several options established. See, this is a deep, deep drop right here, so they're gonna walk the top of it. It's kind of skirting that deeper area. I'm gonna probably end up bringing the camera out here and putting it on the makerns. I don't even know what kind they are. I know they're big. A little scrape right here, but these acorns are falling good. I can hear them falling. And see, if you stand on there, Dad always taught me to look for green tops, and this is like the highest point of the ridge. You look up here and these green tops up here, and acorns are falling. And so far, I'm not finding the amount of sign I was finding over there on that saddle. Which, I mean, really, you think about a big buck, it's not really, starting here shortly, is going to be more in a cruising mode than a feeding mode. Definitely a couple huntable spots, especially over there where I jumped that buck, but want to go the opposite way, and there's a spot I picked out over there where 2 or 3 ridges come together. I want to go look at it. One little scrape, been hit like 1 time. There's a bed. Bunch of beds all together, not even 200-300 yards from the gate. There's rubs right here on the side hill from like the last 5 years. We'll scrape. I need to figure out where the deer that made that one went. Another rub right here. All this is just a slight little saddle. I walked 200 or 300 yards along top of this ridge, no sign, just that little bitty dip. It's like boom, rub, 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 rub. This would be a good spot to climb a tree, and this is, I'm seeing some bigger sign here than I was on the other side. Not that that necessarily always means anything, but another rub right there. Oh, somebody's got to stand there. They're in a good spot. I'll probably just go ahead and back out of this area. This is the best looking spot I found, but that other side looked pretty good, and it didn't already have a stand there. Oh, there's a climber. There's 2 climbers. They've been climbing some flimsy little trees. There's one over there too. Looks like a feeder. There's another stand. 2 more stands on the same tree. A feeder. A big old rub, several old rubs, another feeder. I'm about 99% sure that's illegal. I ain't no snitch though. It looks like they got the best spot I found covered pretty well. Done found 5 stands and 2 feeders. And I ain't really like looking for them, I'm just walking out. I guess I'm gonna head back to the truck. That was the other good area on this property I wanted to look at, but I can't decide if I want to go look at another piece or if I want to go hunt my favorite piece from last year. This is a beat down dang deer trail coming through this thick stuff. I was gonna go hunt my bench spot last year where I missed that nice 10-pointer, and the gate was closed, which I wouldn't mind walking, but it's you know, I got like 2 hours until dark, so it was cutting it kind of close to even hunt it anyway. So if I had to walk half a mile to hunt it, I'm getting there right at dark, so it's kind of pointless. So I think I'm just gonna go get caught up on my sleep and pick up where I left off tomorrow. Well, today's off to a pretty rough start. First thing this morning, I was putting my contacts in, and the first thing I do is drop one, can't find it, so I'm one-eyed. Then I get out here trying to corn up one of my private spots, and my four-wheeler breaks down, won't crank back up. It's giving me an extremely bad headache not having both contacts in. I just got permission on 40 acres right here. It ain't nothing but a big giant clear cut, but it's up next to something that I don't think it gets a whole lot of hunting pressure around it. I'm not gonna say what, because I don't wanna give anything away, but I'm excited. I'm about to get out here and walk it and see what we can find. Pretty good sized track there. Little bed. Little pond right there. There's a buck. Tree right there just destroyed. That one there's been rubbed on a little bit. Tree ripped down. Another one tore up. That one's been broken in half. That one's been rubbed. There's a bed right here. Big old bed right there. Rubs all up and down here, but he's bedding right there. Probably go ahead and back out. I really don't know of a good way to ease in on this bed. Maybe come in here in the pouring rain and just see if he stands up. Other than that, I don't know. I might just have to set up on one of these trails, maybe 100 yards away or something. Brush in a blind or something. I'm backed off a ways from that buck's bed. I'm gonna put corn in a blind here and see if I can just get him coming to it, because he's gonna be hard to sneak in on and really set up on. But if I can't, then I'm gonna just go hunt him at his bed. I guess I'd have to just sit on the ground. I am headed to West Virginia. Headed home from West Virginia. I figured I'd swing through Ohio and check my cameras. It's supposed to rain all day today, so I figured it'd be a good opportunity I can go ahead and check them, even though it's only been a couple days. But with this rain, it won't booger anything up too bad. Well, that didn't work, but what happened was I was coming out here to check my camera. I put on these acorns a few days ago out here on this public land, and there's a little field, I mean maybe a quarter of an acre, that I was going to cut through. That was kind of my landmark. I knew how to get to where I was going from there. Well, I ease up on the field. There's a freaking big old wide buck. I don't know, probably looked like a 7-pointer standing there. So I'm like, holy crap. So I'm sitting there filming him on my cell phone. I don't have my bow. I didn't bring my camera because of the rain. But I'm only 300 or 400 yards from the truck. So I run back to the truck. And I ease back up on this field. Well, I'm like, dang, they're gone. So I'm just easing up, easing up. I see one of them in the very edge of the field just looking at me. So I point the camera at him and I just freeze. See what he'll do. He don't really pay me no attention. Then I look over and the bigger one, he's standing there. He's a little bit closer. I pop behind this bush. I ease up a little bit, ease up. I get up to 50 yards from the big one, and there's a freaking bush in the way. So I'm like, man, if I can just scoot over like 2 feet, I can shoot this deer. And couldn't do it. He blew and took off. But man, that was insane. I'm gonna check this camera. I'm gonna put my camera up. I don't really want it to get no wetter, but probably have them bucks on camera. Insane. But I got like 3 more cameras to check, and I'm gonna head home to Georgia. So probably come back in a week or so. Them bucks had beds right here in the stick stuff, only 300 or 400 yards from the truck.